You're for enjoyment, not for wife.
But that one sentence broke me louder than any insult ever could. I endured pain, real pain, just to become what Lagos calls beautiful. I changed my body, but I didn't change how they see me. They admired the shape, but never the woman inside it. And that night I realized the surgery wasn't the biggest change. I was.
The first thing Amara noticed when she woke up was the silence inside her body. Not peace. Silence. The kind that comes after something irreversible. Her eyes opened slowly to a white ceiling that felt too bright. The air smelled sterile. Clean. Unforgiving. For a few seconds she couldn't move, not because she didn't want to, but because her body felt distant. Heavy. Rearranged. Then the pain crept in. It began as a dull pressure in her lower back. Then it spread to her hips like fire sliding under her skin. She tried to adjust her legs slightly. The pain answered sharply. A quiet gasp escaped her lips. She remembered. The clinic. The consent form. The doctor's calm voice. The promise. You love your new shape. Outside the window, Lagos traffic roared faintly. Horns. Vendors shouting. Engines growling. The city was alive as always. Lagos did not pause because a girl decided to change herself. And neither did its expectations. She swallowed slowly. I did it, she whispered to the ceiling. But even she wasn't sure if that was triumph or regret. 6 months earlier, Amara had always believed she was enough. She grew up in Surale before moving to Lekki after getting a remote tech job. She paid her rent herself, furnished her apartment slowly, bought her own TV, her own fridge, her own independence. She was proud of that. She wasn't loud on social media. She didn't post every outing. She didn't chase trends. She wore simple dresses, neat braids, light makeup. Her beauty was soft, the kind that didn't scream for attention. But Lagos didn't reward softness. It rewarded spectacle. On Instagram, the girls who trended had dramatic curves. Snatch waists that looked edited even when they weren't. Heavy hips that filled tight dresses perfectly. Vacation pictures in Zanzibar. Birthdays with 30 red roses and a Range Rover in the background. The comments were predictable. Body too bad. Spec. Wife material. Godwin. Amara would scroll late at night in her dimly lit bedroom, phone brightness low, heart slightly unsettled. She would stand in front of her mirror afterward. Turn sideways. Exhale. Her waist didn't curve inward dramatically. Her hips didn't push fabric outward in bold declaration. She looked normal. And in Lagos, normal felt invisible. The rooftop party. The night that changed everything happened in Victoria Island. A rooftop lounge. Purple lights. Afrobeats vibrating through the floor. Expensive cologne mixing with hookah smoke. Glasses clinking. Amara wore a fitted black dress. It hugged her figure gently but didn't exaggerate it. She felt elegant. Confident. Her friend Tenny wore something tighter. Something strategic. Tenny had done her BBL the year before and never stopped talking about how it changed her life. Within 20 minutes of sitting down, 2 men sent over champagne. For the lady in blue, the waiter said. The lady in blue was Tenny. Amara smiled politely. She told herself it didn't matter. Then one of the men walked over. He shook Tenny's hand. complimented her body openly, asked for her Instagram, laughed too loudly at her jokes. He barely looked at Amara. When he did, it was the kind of glance people give furniture, present, but irrelevant. Later, in the restroom, under harsh LED lighting, Amara stared at her reflection. Tenny adjusted her waist trainer proudly. "You're fine, babe," Tenny said casually. "But Lagos men like shape. It's just reality. Like shape." The words didn't insult her. They echoed. The slow erosion. It wasn't one moment. It was accumulation. A talking stage that faded after 2 dates. A man who told her she was calm vibes but proposed to someone else with bigger curves. A colleague who joked, "You need small upgrade for Lagos market." Upgrade. The language of products, not people. Amara laughed things off publicly. Privately, the thoughts lingered. She noticed patterns. The girls with dramatic shapes never paid for dinners. Never lacked attention. Never struggled to be noticed. And Amara was tired of being unnoticed. One night, lying on her bed with only the sound of her air conditioner humming, she opened a cosmetic clinic's Instagram page. Before and after videos played automatically. Flat waist. Then snatched. Slim hips. Then rounded. The captions read, "Confidence restored. Upgrade complete. Soft life activated." Her thumb hovered over the consultation link. She stared at her ceiling for a long minute. Then she booked it. Consultation day. The clinic in Lekki Phase 1 looked like a luxury spa. White marble floors. Scented candles. Calm music. The doctor spoke smoothly, professionally. "We don't change you. We enhance you." Enhance. That word made it sound harmless. Artistic. Controlled. She signed forms she barely read. Her heartbeat was loud in her ears. She told herself she was doing it for confidence. But deep down, she knew it wasn't confidence she lacked. It was validation. Surgery morning. The hospital gown felt thin. Cold. Vulnerable. As the nurse prepared the fall, Amara's mind raced. What if something goes wrong? What if I don't like it? What if I'm overreacting? But another voice inside her whispered, what if this finally changes everything? When the anesthesia entered her bloodstream, her vision blurred slowly. Her final conscious thought was simple. Maybe now they will choose me. Recover reality. Pain. Not glamorous pain. Not cinematic pain. Real pain. She couldn't sit properly for weeks. Sleeping on her stomach felt unnatural. Bruises bloomed across her skin in angry colors. Her back throbbed constantly. Sometimes she cried quietly at night, face buried in her pillow, wondering if she had betrayed herself. But she posted old pictures online. Smiling. Glowing. Unbothered. No one saw the swelling. The discomfort. The doubt. After 3 months, her body settled. Her waist curved sharply inward. Her hips rounded out beautifully. Dresses hugged her differently. Jeans fit tighter. She looked transformed. The attention. The first time she stepped into a lounge after recovery, she felt it immediately. Eyes. Lingering eyes. Men who once overlooked her now stared openly. Waiters were more attentive. Conversations started faster. Her DMs exploded. Hey stranger. You look different. Where have you been hiding? Different. That word felt powerful. She told herself this was the confidence she wanted. But it wasn't internal. It was reflected back at her through male approval. Kola. Kola entered her life smoothly. Well-dressed. Calm voice. Money that didn't need announcing. He liked taking her out in a koi. Liked how heads turned when she walked beside him. Liked placing his hand on her waist in public. He bought her gifts easily. Sent her Uber Black rides without asking. Paid bills before she saw them. She felt selected. Until one dinner night changed everything. They were seated at a high-end restaurant overlooking the water. Candlelight dancing across her glass. She took a breath. "What are we building?" she asked softly. Kola smiled. "Why must we build? Can't we just enjoy?" She swallowed. "I mean long term." He leaned back casually. "Amara, you're amazing. But let's be honest. You're for enjoyment, not for wife." The word struck harder than any surgical pain. Not for wife? It wasn't her body he saw. It was only her body. The mirror. That night, she stood alone in her apartment. Full-length mirror. Perfect curves. Luxury handbag on the chair. Expensive wig resting neatly. She looked exactly like the girls she once envied. So why did she feel emptier? She realized something quietly devastating. The men who valued her before valued her mind. The men who valued her now valued her shape. She had changed herself to be seen. But she wasn't being understood. She touched her waist gently. She didn't hate her body. She hated the reason she altered it. The real transformation. Weeks passed. She stopped attending every invite. Stopped replying to shallow compliments. Stopped measuring her worth in how many men stared. She began posting her tech projects again. Sharing ideas. Writing threads about women in tech. Some men unfollowed. Some stopped messaging. Good. One evening, sitting on her Lekki balcony watching traffic lights flicker in the distance, she exhaled slowly. Lagos was still loud. Still obsessed with image. Still rewarding spectacle. But she no longer needed its approval to breathe. She had reshaped her body. Yes. But now she was reshaping her standards. Because attention is addictive. But self-worth is stabilizing. And this time, the transformation wasn't for them. It was finally for her.